Alright, we are live! Hello everyone and welcome to today's live stream where we have an amazing update today. The shader editor has gotten a new node, which you can see here. It may be one of the most powerful nodes that we've ever gotten in the shader editor, just because of the amount of stuff we'll be able to do with this. So this is the Ray Portal node, and what it will allow us to do is potentially a new way of baking and a lot of other cool things. So, let's get started. What does it do specifically? Well, in this case, we can see we have two meshes. These two are basically the UV mapped projections of these two objects. But the thing is, the rays that are kind of viewing the object, like the camera rays, are all along the surface of this object, the one where in its regular position and the normals are as you would expect. That's how it works. And then this part is the plane underneath, and we can see that the shadow is being accurately projected there. So if you wanted, you could just render out those in the correct format in an orthographic camera projection and all that, and you should be good. You should have the thing just baked, for lack of a better term. So, with this, let me go and show you another example, one that might be a little bit better. Okay. So here's one with a human, and it looks like it broke. What did I break with it? It should be fine. Just need to make sure that I didn't break it too much. I should probably start from scratch so that you all can see how it's supposed to go. But basically, the lighting is on this character, and then it gets projected onto this mesh. So it should work pretty good. Okay. So let's go and add in a new one of these and add in that new effect. Let's go and make sure that this is good. I didn't do too much preparation for this, if you can't tell. I was so excited that I was just playing around with it, and now I'm going to try it out. So, this is basically entirely a shader editor effect. Only in cycles, by the way. Only in cycles. So let's go and get a Ray Portal. So by default, you'll see that nothing happens. Wait, why is nothing here? Well, that's because it is a perfect portal, meaning that it's just showing directly what's in back of it. With the denoising, you can see that there's a little bit of ghosting happening, which I assume is just like the normals and all that, making the denoising be a little bit weird. So let's go and let me turn off the film background because it's making it a little hard to see what's going on. There we go. So, let's see. So with this, you get the position and direction. So by default, this position is the geometry position, I believe. And then the direction is the incoming. So these are the default wait a second. I think that's scaled to negative, I think. Yeah, the negative incoming. I could be wrong about that, but that seems to be accurate. Seems to make no change happen. So with this, what if we want to raise this up and get an orthographic projection of what's underneath it? So let's add in a little sphere and change this to be red. Maybe we need a little pattern and all of that good stuff. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. It's recommended, or I recommend, to turn off all the other passes so that it doesn't cast a shadow and stuff like that. So here we can see that's happening. Now let's disconnect the incoming and just have the position input. Well, we don't really need that, but it'll be fine. And now let's add in a vector. So let's add in a combine XYZ vector, then make this -1. Now we can see that this portal is just an orthographic projection. So we can move this around and it'll just have, as what you would expect, it goes straight down as if you had an orthographic camera, which is extremely useful. So now that we have that, we can do some fun stuff with this. So instead of using the geometry position in world space, let's go and get it in local space. So let's get the texture coordinate right here. Let's go and do object. We should see that now this is projecting from right at the floor plane, which is not exactly what we want. But let's just go and add in a vector math add node, so vector math, and raise this up by a bit, by like 1 meter. Yeah, that seems to be good. If it projects onto itself, some weird things can happen, as we can see right here. We get that kind of, again, the kind of repeated portal effect, which I can go into more depth later on. But here we can see we can move this thing around And we have something like a render target, which is fairly common in things like Unreal Engine, and I assume Unity. I haven't used any in there. But now we can move this anywhere, and since the position is still in kind of local space, I guess, this is still reading as, oh, this vertice is like -1, that one's 1, 1, and so on. It's still viewing it as projecting straight down from here. So there's the real plane, and then there's the kind of ghost plane that it's viewing from. So if we want to change the projection, we can go and change stuff like that, and we can see that that's being edited. So now we can get a little bit funky with this. What if we take the normal and put that in there? Should I scale that to -1? Yeah, let's just go and flip that on the side. Why is that not? Oh, right, because it's projecting over there. So now that, wait, I thought this was going to be the local space normal, not the global space normal. Interesting. Geometry, let's take a look at that. So if that, no, it's blue, so why was it changing over there? Yeah, it shouldn't have been doing that. Maybe there's a very good chance I just don't know entirely how this thing works. I built render engines, or pseudo render engines, inside of geometry nodes, a portal one to be precise. So it's a similar concept, but I still need to get used to how these values work in the shader editor. So that should be that. Here, let's go and let's go and stick with the regular normal, because I want to try other things. So if that goes down, that should be that. So scaling the normal by -1 should just fix that, I think. So that should be up, and that should be down. Okay. So that's good. But if I wrote... Okay. Did I just connect the wrong thing? Yeah, that's probably what happened. Whoopsie. Never mind. So now that we have that, let's go and make a kind of quad projection. So as we can see, that works out pretty well. Looks like something funky is happening on that side. Still not entirely sure why it's doing that kind of repeated thing. I know it makes sense, but I'm still a little confused about it. What? Huh. Well, we're getting that weird, you know, that repeated effect, which is cool, you know, the portal looking into another portal. I'm a little surprised it's happening right now. I thought I would have needed a bit more information before it started to do that. So now, let's go and shade smooth. Now we can see that this cube is now projecting onto the sphere in its entirety. So let's shade that to be flat once more, and we can see that this is looking at it from every single angle, which is extremely interesting and extremely overpowered. Because not only, like, as you probably saw, it has a depth limit? Is there a setting for that? As far as I know, no. Maybe that could be added in later. It seems like, I think one person was working on this, and I am very excited to see what they potentially, well, I think it's done at this point, but it's, oh wait, the light path node. That's something that I saw mentioned, and I need to see what is possible with that. I'm not seeing anything at the moment. Let's see. Maybe I can use a greater than, and then... Yeah, let's see if we can find anything. Okay, is diffuse... Gray length? Ah, okay. Interesting. Something still doesn't... Oh, wait, no, that... Is that going to... Oh, okay. It's going to that surface, not that surface. Interesting. So if I were to make this compress... No. Interesting. So those are still going into there. I need to play around with these. Because again, I don't really know how they work in their entirety. Transparency, is there anything like that? Because... Okay, so another thing that I should mention with this in my testing is that the transparency passes seem to indicate how many repetitions there can be. So if we go back to the repeated side right there, you can see the more transparency passes, the more of those, which is really cool. I wonder what can happen if it iterates. That could be really, really, really cool. Let's see. What are some interesting use cases for this new shader node? Well, I can go back to the other example that I had starting out, which is just live baking. So, with this, again, for those of you who weren't in the beginning 30 seconds of the stream, which I assume is most of you, you could go and just have this projection project from the parts of a mesh. So here, the projection is from the location on the surface of the object, and then pointing inwards from the normals. I can show you the actual... Where's the actual shader for it? Ah, right there. So here, this uses geometry nodes to get the position from the creature here, and the normal from the creature here as well. So that's where the camera rays are firing from. And then this is negative normal. I did pull a little bit of a sneaky thing right here, because the position is offset by a little bit of the true normal, not the smoothened one, just so that there's no Z fighting. So keep that in mind if you try to replicate that. And then after that's done, and by the way, this is always global space from what I've seen, so just keep that in mind. And then I move the geometry to be, well, in this case where the camera is, but this could be anywhere, which is cool. And I'll show you the geometry node side. And I'm still figuring out a few things. So I take the object. In this case, I can select any one I want. In this case, it's that one. I store the position info in global space. This just basically undoes the transform of this object right here. Here's the internals. So in this case, it's do transform. You know, actually, I could just break this out of the node group and call it a day. I should probably do that. Yeah, it's better to just not have a node group in there whatsoever. Let's do that. There we go. So self-object transform should be good. There we go. Let's just go and chop that out of there. So this is just global space. And afterwards, yeah, no, that's fine. So now that we have this, there we go. That should work properly. Then here's the normal. I'm still, in this case, I got the smooth normal, and I need to find out how to actually make it switch properly with all that. There's a node setup where it does that, but I need to, actually, wait, there's the shade smooth by angle, which I cannot access for some reason. Shade smooth by angle. Let's take a look. Oh no, wait, that doesn't get the actual data. There's edge smooth and then face smooth, and I need to figure out how to make that interpolate correctly. So, well, I'll figure that out. But yeah, with all that, it's mainly just getting the data. And then this is the true normal, because actually we don't need that anymore, so I can chop that out. Could have been useful. Actually, maybe for the final version I'll keep that. But it's mainly just the normal, whether you want it smooth or flat. Let me show you the difference between smooth and flat. Let me go and move this to be more center so that we can see the changes a little bit better. Again, this is only in cycles because ray tracing. But since this stuff works in game engines and every real-time program, it's probably possible in Eevee. It's just a weird implementation. And also Eevee is trying to upgrade itself, but that's taken a long time, so don't expect this in there anytime soon. Okay, so let's look at the true normal rather than the point normal. So let's switch this to be face. We should see not really any changes. So let's change it to points. There are scenarios where it does give some weird side effects. I thought there would be more. Anyway. But if I shade this to be flat, we should see all that. That will show up on here as well. This is so weird. When I would use Substance Painter, Yeah, I think Substance Painter. It would have a view like this, where you would see the lighting on this. And I never thought we would get this in Blender, but here we are. And it's working extremely well, and it seems to be extremely OP. So, another thing that we can do, which, oh, I deleted that one camera that I was going to try this on. Okay, let's go to the human version. Check. I feel like I messed something up with this one. Is it messed up? It looks like it's messed up. Why? Because of the face corner stuff? Oh, okay. Something messed up. Original relative. Interesting. But for some reason, I changed something, and it's making it so that the thing is not matching one-to-one anymore. Which is odd, because it should work the way I intend. But here we can see it's trying to project from somewhere else and doing something very, very, not what it should be. Looks like the normals are projecting onto the floor part here. I'm actually very interested as to why it's not. Let's go to original. Moves over to there, but we don't want it to be original. We want it to be relative. If I mute that. Okay. Well, anyway. We turn that off. Sorry everyone, just 1 second as I try to figure out why on earth that is not functioning as intended. Oh, maybe, wait, what? Maybe that's why. It's not, okay, it was projecting the wrong object. My bad. It was projecting the creature instead of the human. There we go. See, perfect. Absolutely perfect. I've been editing it to make it more generalized so that you can just put a different object on in a snap. So in the testing, do I? Art. Besides all. Also, look at that. Seeing the projections like this is very cool. Alright. Let's move you back to here. Or maybe down, and that's good. So here, like, now this means that you could just render whatever you want, and as many angles as you want, automatically. Instead of having to move the camera and keep changing FOVs with drivers, you can just set up a scenario where it keeps flipping through different meshes, either with geometry nodes or something like that. It'll render all of that out, and then you could render the actual atlas here. Which, oh, that brings up something that I need to showcase next. Let's go and hide the set and add in a new orthographic camera that'll go and point at this part. So let's bring this up. A new era of baking in Blender, which, to be honest, the bar was very low, but it's better than nothing. And actually, this is more variable for many other workflows, so we should be good. Let me change this to be the film output. So good. There we go. So now let's render this. Okay. So here you'll see that I already have a setup with the in-painting node doing its thing. That's in the compositor. So let's take a look at the compositor. So here, you may be wondering, wait, what's all this stuff? Well, that's because the in-painting node by default has a very weird little quirk where if I zoom in, the seams have a little black right there, which I believe is just an interpolation of the alpha map, so you just need to go and make that a greater than, and then it's mostly gone. So I did a little bit of blurring and all that good stuff and yada yada. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to do proper in painting with all that. But that's for part of the workflow, and you could do that in another program, and I think that would be better. But anyway, let's go and put this into a frame, then bring it over. I'm not used to transparent frames like that. Okay, but here's the real power. We have access to all the passes. So this means that we can get every pass we want. What do we want? Like all that data. Let's just go and do a render and get all the data. So now, instead of using Blender's old baking method, you can go and just get whatever data you want. Look at all that. Ooh. But maybe you want to throw on the denoising after the fact. Let's see, just denoise. There we go. Yay. Low sample count, anyway. Where is the roughness? Oh, wait. Glossy, wait. Do we have all the passes that we need? I hope we do. Well, okay, there's glossy color. I guess is good, if you want that. And then, yeah, I think there's all the data you want. There's alpha, like, I don't know why you would want the UVs like that. It's not even the correct UVs. In the normal, I think you will probably need to edit that in order to make a proper normal map, but you do have access to the tangent data. Okay, so maybe this isn't the best? Okay, it won't be the catch-all baking pipeline, but it might be much better than we had before. But also ambient occlusion. You can go and get that. Shadow catcher, noisy image, that. Okay, let's go and only enable the stuff that we need. So direct. Emission could work. Ambient occlusion could work. Environment could work. And then maybe normal. Okay. Dang, I was hoping that we could get everything in just one thing. Not quite enough. But there's mostly, like, wait, what the heck is going on there? Use direct. We're close. We're close. Like, I was hoping you could just render it and then get all the passes you want out of there, but it's... Wait, I feel like there should be something. I feel like I'm missing something. Anyway, it's a little bit late where I am, so I'm going to use that as an excuse for my lack of brain cells, let's just say. Okay. We have that, let's go back into the renderer. So here we can take a look at the passes. So we can look at diffuse direct. That's actually very interesting why it looks like that. Why does it look like that? It looks like an error. Maybe it's not. And then diffuse color. Okay, so that's one pass, diffuse color. Then there's glossy color. But where's the rough? There's no roughness. I wish we could get it all in one pass, but oh well. Let's go over to this, like, that's the unfortunate thing. You would have to put the passes onto the actual object, and you can't extract it from this one. Maybe that could be added? Oh wait, sorry. AOV. Wait, AOV. I actually never used the AOV. Yeah, sorry, I haven't been checking the chat. Been too absorbed in this stuff. Okay, yeah, let me read the chat real quick. Let's see, depth limit. Yep, I read that. Didn't you already do a really janky portal in geometry nodes and display the color from attributes? Yes, I did. That took 4 hours, and it worked, but wasn't great. And since it was on the CPU, it was laggy as hell. When did modifiers become node groups? I think I've been missing stuff. Modifiers become node groups. Oh, geonodes? Oh, only the normals one is a node group at the moment. The plan is that all modifiers become geometry node groups. Will that happen? Probably not in the next 5 years. But it's a dream. Let's see. How would this be useful for game engines, drawing radar, or rear-facing mirrors? I'm not sure about that, but basically any TV screen it would be useful for. Just anything that render targets can do, it could probably do something like that. Okay. Not enough for a PBR material. Yeah. For roughness, I think we need AOV. Alright, yeah, I need to look up how AOVs work. Because I assume that you can't just connect and then you're good. How would you extract that? Because ideally, like, the workflow that I would like, it's just, oh, you put an object into your scene, you go and say, hey, go and get the stuff from there, and then it'll just put everything there automatically. You choose what UV map you want and you're good. But yeah, AOVs, how do they work? Actually, I can look that up right now. Blender AOV. Let's see. AOV output node. As you can tell, well, as you've probably seen, I use Eevee for a majority of the stuff that I do. So cycles for the past like 3-4 years, I just haven't really used all too much, unless I, you know, do a still render. For animations, I like iterating fast. Arbitrary output variables provide custom render passes for arbitrary shader components. Okay. Output variable. Okay. Properties name. Shader AOV panel. Okay. Data type. It could be a color or a value input. Color type can suggest the color type, as the name suggests, can be used for color but also for normals. The value type can be used for any single numerical value. Okay. Interesting. So this would just be... We would connect, oh, that, so AOV output. This one is just, I don't know, this would be a node group and then you just put that, but that, yeah, that sucks. Actually kind of sucks. Because if you have multiple materials on your object, it won't work the way you want to. It could be a node group, and then you just put on all the materials that you want, then you go inside the node group and then switch between all of them. But that still sucks. This will just be... I don't know, what should I name this? 1C. Then this one will be 1M. And, oh wait, and there's only one AOV output. And then that's just normal. Okay, so let me try rendering this and see if it works. Wait, what? Oh, right, the compositor. I had that attached. Okay, so there's... where are they? Optimat, girl, asset, shader A. Oh, okay. Oh, alright. Yeah. So you need to assign those there. So it's not the worst workflow. Still not the best. Okay. Let me try... Like, this is leagues better than what we had previously. So that'll be C. Roughness, metallic. What else do we need? Alpha could be a thing, but I think that's basically everything. Or actually, this will be diffuse, roughness, metallic, and then normal. Okay, so diffuse, roughness, metallic, and then normal. Let's give this a shot and see if it works. So roughness, metallic. Goes around. Let's see. And I still need to... We're 30 minutes into the stream. I should be further along by now. I do want to try actual portals with this, but people have tried that a fair bit, and I'm kind of like, ooh, I want to try the new stuff. Okay, so yeah, that does work. But, okay, so a few things. The normal map won't be correct. Precisely. And then, oh, the emission. Well, the emission I could just have as that. So, there is something there. Like, putting a node group on every material is not the worst thing in the world. But you have to connect all the outputs. That still kind of sucks. I'm surprised there's no roughness in here. Or is there and I'm just missing it? Look, sample count. Ooh, that's cool. Here, let's try... Ooh, accidentally almost took a screenshot. Okay, let's see. Let's try a greater than and see what happened. I also forget if the compositor is real time now. I'm assuming yes, because it would be really bad if that was not the case. Wait a second. So there's that. Okay, so that's the color. So you have the color, roughness, metallic, then normal. With the normal, I forget what you have to do or to make it work properly. How much better is this for baking than Blender's default baking? Miles and miles and miles and miles and miles better. Because in Blender's old baking, you bake one texture at a time. And you need to be extremely careful. I haven't done it too much because, you know, you just shouldn't bake in Blender unless you have an add-on for it. But you would have an image texture. You need to have the image texture selected. And then you need to have the right UV map selected. You click that, then you go over to cycles, you go over to bake, and then you click bake, and the texture needs to be valid. And then it would convert that image into the thing that you baked. And you need to configure all the settings and all that fun stuff. Like here, it has use glossy transmission emit. Right, so glossy. So, yeah, no, glossy is just metallic as well. Color. But color doesn't give me... Actually, wait a second. I forgot about that. In here, if we look at the glossy pass, so here, if we take a look at glossy color, if we separate that, do we just get the correct stuff? So if we go to hue saturation value, is that just the correct pass? Let's go and take a look. Oh, but we don't get the roughness. Or do we? No, it doesn't look like it. So, we can get... And actually, it feels like the metallic's wrong as well. Yeah, no, the metallic is... Yeah, no, it's not correct. Actually, yeah, does Blender's old baking system just not have that available? Use glossy... Or no, wait, I'm sorry everyone, I'm just tripping up a little bit. The glossy is the roughness, not the metallic. Should be. Right? But no, that's different as well. Wait, is it it's a combination of both. Shoot. Oh well. It's interesting seeing it though. Okay, so you would need shader AOV outputs as just a node group, and then you go and put it on every material, and then you should be good for the compositing. It is a manual step, but... yeah. It's crazy that this node was made by someone random from the community out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm actually... One second, everyone. I'm going to pull up the actual poll request from it. Let's see. Check that out. It was made by... Dave... It was just David and then a few numbers afterwards. Yeah, so... Yeah, just someone named David decided to add that node. Oh, 7 months ago they started working on it. Wow. So 7 months, and then it got merged into main today. Wow. Okay, so this has been in the works in the for a while. Well, it's good that we have it. Making 4.2 a worthy LTS release. Okay, and also the old Baker is buggy. It crashes with the denoiser on. It with the denoiser is so weird. It's just not good at all. Okay, glossy color is the color in the render, not the material's roughness actual value. You can check how Blender assembles all the passes into the final render. It's all in the Blender documentation. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Cartesian, do you know? Alt plus B on the viewport. 3D Boolean effect. Oh, you mean just rendering one little section at a time? Let's see, Alt B. Yeah, like that. Or, yeah, when you're... Oops. Alt B. Maybe I did something wrong. Oh well. Let's see, so that... Like, this is much more useful than the alternative. Like, again, let's go and make a... Wait. No. Okay, where did the make node group go? Oh, F3, make group. There we go. Ew, oh god. What? Why did it, okay. Ever since one of the updates, the sorting for all this really went out of whack. Ew. And now they're all out of order. Fun. Okay, so is it... Let's see. Roughness and then metallic, or metallic and then roughness? Yeah, let's do that one. So here, I guess I should just name all of these properly. So I guess... diffuse... Just go and copy that to there. Diffuse... Metallic... So, you have to put this into... Why... Okay, roughness was above. So I'll just go and flip this around. So, it seems like it's not a catch-all. Roughness, which would have been nice. Let's see, we're at 37 minutes. I will have to wrap this up sometime soon. And then normal. And the normal map won't be correct because it won't be in the proper tangent space. Normal 2. Just name of that. Yeah, if you're wondering why I capitalize all the variables I use, it's so that it doesn't conflict with Blender's regular variables. But I think since these ones are capitalized, I would think under the hood they're all lowercase. Direct, indirect, all that. The normal... Actually, can I make it so that the normal input, it does weird stuff to it, and then it outputs the correct thing? I don't mess around with Eevee that much. Has Eevee next been being nice, or is it still a bit green? It is less than ideal. Let's just say that. Okay, let's go and take a look at the compositing passes now once more. And I do really want to... Let me turn off all the other passes. Emission we can keep, because that's normal. Okay, so we have emit noisy... Wait, noisy image in there? Okay, so we have roughness, metallic, and all that. So, that's better. And I could have another node group in here. Actually, are there? Yeah, there are compositor nodes. I use the compositor so rarely that I forgot that those even exist. Here to learn. Hello, CG Matter. How's it going? We got some new nodes in the works. This one is basically the future of baking. So I'm very excited about that. If you have just joined, I'll give a little demo right here. Let me go and get the other camera back in place. 1 second. Control B. There we go. So here, basically, we have the portal nodes showing up on these two objects, basically making it so that whatever lighting happens will be projected onto these objects, making it so that we can possibly bake everything we want in a snap rather than Blender's old, terrible, horrible, absolutely the worst baking system. Now, the baking system's old. It's probably like over 10 years old at this point, so, you know, having an upgrade that we can just do basically whatever we want with is really good. But it's not only for baking. I'm trying to very much break it in order to make that work. But it can do other things. So here, I'll set this up from scratch once again. Let's go and go into the shader editor, add a new one. Let's go and get the ray portal, which is the new node, only in cycles. So once again, the position input is the geometry position in world space, and then the direction is the incoming scaled to -1. That's the default. I recommend turning off all of these except the camera so that it doesn't cast a shadow and all that good stuff. But the thing is, what if you want to manipulate these? So with this, what if you want this to be the normal of the object? Well, let's go and use the normal. Oh wait, I wanted to drag that out. So normal. Let's go with texture coordinate normal, and then scale it to -1. This should make it so that we get an orthographic projection from every single side of this cube, because the rays are getting fired straight out from every single location that is there. They go in, and then, like glass, you know, you can change the IOR. This is basically kind of what it does under the hood, but not quite, you know. But we can do that. And while moving this, we can see that it moves along as well. So now we have just an orthographic projection of all that. Let me put in the monkey, because that is better for seeing all of the different views at the same time. Go and move this up. If things go above, then you don't see them, and if, well, we'll get to that in a second. But what if you wanted it so that you can move the cube wherever you want and still be okay? Well, then you just need the local coordinates of the object. So fortunately, in the texture coordinates, you get that. So here, let me roll a location. Yep, so it's right here. Now, if I move this cube, it'll be completely fine. So the ghost cube, the part where the rays are projecting from, are where the cube was originally, in local space. So it still sees itself here. But now, if I move this, it's just normal, which is incredible. I'm so happy that that is a possibility. Apparently, as we saw from the pull request, it was just one guy who was working on it for like on and off for 7 months, and it finally got merged into main. So it will be in 4.2 LTS, which means that the era of, well, needing a specialized add-on for doing baking, at least to a degree, may be over, which I'm very excited about. I used Blender to create pixel art with normals included to make nice light effects with a game I made. It took a while to get the math right, but I'm stupid. But you've given me a grand idea. What if you snapped the object coordinates? Well, this means that you can pixelate this. So now we have just... we can have a true pixel filter. Oh, shoot. We now have a pixel filter, and this could be a Voronoi texture. This could be whatever we want. We have this is such an OP node. This is amazing. Oh, this is going to be so good. And also, just for kicks, I'm going to go and use the bevel modifier. Because here, we can see that we just get more views. Like, look, it looks like a piece of glass. And that, oh, wait a second, we can displace that with noise. Oh, this is like Christmas morning. Ooh, this is good. This is good. Okay. I'm actually very curious as to how this will work. Whether it'll try to compute it on this space. Yeah, it should be fine. Let's not normalize that. And then add to this. Okay. And by the way, I should mention, this is in the latest 4.1 daily build, so you can just go and download it. You don't need to build it yourself. This is viewing this. It's manipulating the ray position in 3D space. Because this, it's not in one-dimensional space, it's in... Oh, that is... This means we can white noise this as well. What happens if we do that? It blurs. Oh, shoot. This is, I feel like I have too much power, which is a good thing. I want that. Like, with my geometry node stuff, it's like, oh, do you want less data or more data? It's always, I want all the data. Give me all of it. Wow. Then if we put in the camera, why did I do that? But yeah, let's try this on only one axis and see what happens. So here, if we do it like that, there we go. So here, we can see that we're blurring this side, but not that side as well. Which means that if we can do some fancy math, and then we can make it so that the camera can look at this from all angles, like a fisheye effect normally, without having to do anything weird, then there are so many possibilities. Making space warp, making non-Euclidean, well, kind of stuff. We can do whatever we want. Oh, I'm getting excited. Okay, this is gonna be fun. All right, this will take a few days in order to figure out just the extent of this. Oh, and by the way, here. Oh, whoa. Oh, that's cool. I do need to like really try the proper recursion with all that. Here, this. Okay, so we have that, and no. Oh, what's going on? Ooh, cool. Fun. And the one little gripe I have, which isn't a gripe, this is beyond what it should do. But currently, you know, it's not like the TV thing where it leaves a delay, because that would allow us to do so many simulated things, but it's perfectly understandable that that's not in the scope of this node. It's way too powerful already. So many possibilities. Look at that. I want to distort space-time. Ever just want to do that? Okay, we do that, and then we can do that. I'm trying to get the trippy effect going again. Okay. We do that, and then it's just a fractal. Ooh, a pretty fractal at that. Oh. And again, the amount of duplications are controlled by the transparency passes, which makes sense. Look at that. So many patterns. The amount... This means that you can do quite a few fractal things with this. Look at that. Future of shader nodes. Future of so many things in just one node. It's incredible. Oh, what if we put in the reflection to the direction? Okay, whoa, okay, what's going on? I don't know what that's doing, but it seems cool. Let me go and delete everything so that I can see this regularly. Oh. Yep, it's the reflection, so now this is just reflecting the light. This feels like a fundamental building block of render engines, and we just get it. Like, node editors like geometry nodes and Blender shader editor, they're all rather high level. You're not exactly doing compute shaders here. But this feels... I know it's just render targets, but having it in Blender, it's making me freak out, because I'm not used to this amount of power inside of Blender. I'm not used to it. Oh, the position we can have project from the UV map. So here, if we have just a vector pointing up, this means that this is projecting. So the cube is seeing itself in its UV space. So it's seeing its UV map in like a 1-to-1 area, and then it's firing the rays up. So we're getting orthographic projection of the bottom or top of this monkey. Yeah. We're getting the bottom of the monkey right here. It's not the best one to view because of that, so let's go and add in a plane instead. So here we can see that we're seeing the sphere. The sphere will just keep doing that, keep doing what it's doing, because we're projecting from UV space. Whoa, had a brain blip right there. From UV space onto world space. So that's how you would do that. And this could be, let me just use a combine XYZ. So if you had an effect where it had to work on... Oh. I just realized something. I could have a geometry nodes effect like a particle system happening inside of the UV space, sorry. And then like do... Wait, yeah, no, this is kind of like dynamic paint in a sense. You could have a kind of dynamic paint effect happening on a grid, and then you just project it onto the main mesh and it should work fine. The only downside is that you need a clean space for it to work on. And then there's the other slight issue where you can't extract the passes from it. There's no shader to RGB node in cycles as far as I'm aware. Maybe we could look into that. Let me just do a little check right here, just checking some stuff out. I'm very interested to see what the community can do with it, because even though it's labeled the portal node and the shown examples are mainly portals, all of them are portals, it can do so much more. So if you have an idea, try it, because this is gonna be fun. Okay, what are we doing again? Let me just go and make sure that's in 000 space. So here again, this would be like a TV screen, but we would need... Yeah, let's try to fire... Yeah, how would this work? How would we fire this from a specific object? Let's try getting an empty here. Another brain blip. So actually, no, I want the proper axes so that I can see where it's firing specifically. So here, let's go and put the empty in there. So now we have the object, but we don't have the orientation of it. So here we have the object space. I didn't want to do that. So the reflection, no. I mean, we could try getting the location and rotation stuff and then try doing stuff from there. If I had another object, I don't think I can get the accurate normal data, because how would that transfer? It doesn't have the indices. So here, we're just moving the position. Oh no, it controls the rotation as well. I forgot about that part. I know, but no, it's not distorting where it's actually firing from. It's distorting where it's looking from. So here it's still taking the normal. So here it's just acting like a portal. Remove this. And... Oop. Oh, we're lagging. Is that supposed to happen? What did I do? Oh, the Alt-B. Oh. Wait, has it been that long since I've done that? Huh. Okay, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. There we go. Okay, so this is doing a perfect portal because it's not really offset. Now it's offset by just that amount. I need to figure out how it's properly working because maybe I need to subtract the two in order to get the correct offset, or maybe object just works. It's not exactly the most self-explanatory node. So to get this working there, that won't give an accurate output. They'll have to be in the position. I don't have copy attributes on, so I forgot how to copy a location quickly, but that doesn't matter all too much. So if these two are in the exact same place, they'll do that. Okay. If I do this, we'll see stuff like, whoa, RP. Okay, let's just connect this into there. How would I get the offset from that? I can probably extract the vector rotation difference by taking the world geometry input and then subtracting those two, and then maybe that would equal a direction. I'll have to do a lot of testing in order to make it actually function. Yeah. Here we go, we have the portal, and then that makes it rotate, but is it actually here? There is a good chance that's actually just working, and I'm just... Yeah, no, it's not just working. Because here, it's stretching. It's not firing the normals correctly because it's taking the incoming and then doing that. So how do I extract the vector that it's facing? How do I do that? I could extract the Euler rotation, but for that, there's not really an automatic way of doing it. So that could be a little bit annoying. We use sine, will it multiply the images? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, but speaking of multiplying images, I do something like this. In theory, it might actually multiply the images sequentially. Yes, it does. Okay. That's something to keep in mind. It'll recursively do all that. So here we can see, ooh, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So here, void, endless mirrors. Or in this case, portals, because it, you know, not mirrors. Okay. And speaking of that, having two mirrors. Something we need to try out. Two portals. The same thing. So I need to take the... Actually, what happens if this is the window? Is there... Whoa, what's happening? Whoa, okay. That's something different. Wait, we need, so the geometry incoming will decide the direction, like that, and it needs to be scaled to -1, or for it to act like transparency. So here, once again, let's go and reset most of this. So here we can see it's acting almost just like glass. But since it's in local space, it will do the thing. So here we can see it's doing that, acting. It's an infinite portal. Let's go and do that. Do we want it to... Let's make it brighter. That was cooler. There, it will go into basically infinity. 1.1. Maybe 1.25. Okay. we can't change it from orthographic to perspective. We can, you just have to do it in a, well, basically what I did here. Because if you want an actual perspective, the rays have to be firing from a single point outwards, rather than firing from the normals straight up. Because if you think about it, if there were millions of pixels, well, technically there are, on this plane, and they all pointed straight up, they would just go up and hit. That's orthographic. But if all those pixels were angled, firing out from the center, you would have perspective, because again, with human eyes, to a degree, the light comes in and focuses at a mostly singular point, and then it gets unfocused. Weird eye stuff. But you get the point. If our eyes were just flat and the light just hit it straight on only, then we would have orthographic eyes, which is very interesting. I wonder if there's an orthographic camera out there in the real world. I would assume so, but it would be a little bit difficult to make it so that the light didn't, again, come in from every direction. It would have to be a very specific setup so that you can only get it straight on. It would probably take quite a while for it to expose properly. Anyway, for the incoming, we can use a vector rotate node. Actually, there is a transform node. A vector transform, where we can go from that to object, from world to object. If we were to do that, it looks like nothing's happening. Or wait, or is it? Here, let's check that. Oh wait, no. Is it actually working? So what if we went from object to world? Or camera to world? It's not what we want. As you can tell, I'm not as experienced in this, so let's go from there. It's like that's that, no. A vector rotate node. Rotate. I will have to call the stream soon, just because I am getting a wee bit tired, but there's so much to go and try out with it. So here we have that, and we can see if we do this, it is now rotating the perspective. So if I rotate this to match, we should see, oh, and these are double-sided portals. Makes sense, but I forgot. Here we can see we're now viewing that perspective. That's technically -90, so it would have to be like that. So there we're getting that, which we actually got before, so it was technically working. And let's also move you or down. No, it's really broken. Okay. Anyway, let's go and flip you back down. Go, move you back into, nope, you're where you should be. What did I mess up? Okay. Ah, that's what. Apply rotation, there we go. So here, we're there. Oh, and by the way, another thing with the portals, if you want to make it look like something's going through said portal, you need to have a copy, like this. This is what they had to do in the video game Portal, in order to make the objects look like they were going through it. Because it's not actually going through, because, game engines aren't made like that. So you need to have a duplicate. So here, as we can see, like, wow, look, it went through the portal. Whoa. In reality, it was a fib. And then, yeah, all that good stuff. So if we delete that, we just see that pass of it, and it should be good. I meant to click the other thing. There we go. Let's go and bring you over. You'll just put over there. Okay. As I was saying, perspective, yes. Let's go and take a look at that. So again, let's go and just get a combine XYZ node. Let's go and make it look directly up. Because if it's at 0, 0, 0, it will default to the -1 incoming. Here, again, it's facing straight up. A little bit of feedback's happening due to that, but we can see that's happening. Okay, but what if we took the object's position and then plugged it into there as well? Well, now we can see we're getting so much perspective, so much lovely perspective. But if we were to add to this, we can now see that we're getting a different perspective. Something a little different. With more of that, it's going a little bit weirder. But here we can see, again, with cameras, we're just getting all of that. So again, normal would just do that, and also I should mention, go and add in a UV sphere. Shade it to smooth, put it over to here, and go and apply, what material is it? Material 10. Go. Okay, and again with normal, here we can see we got the HDRI. Which is very cool, just projected onto this perfectly. We can see that seeing itself. Seeing itself, that is so cool. We do that, oh, it just becomes a void. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Alright. More perspective. Let's go and do more funky stuff with that. So here, since the rays are firing up like that, we can see we're stretching that part. Do this, we should see reality collapse in on itself. Okay. Alright. Does depth or depth of field and mist also work? We should try that out. We should have access to the... Oh, we don't have access to the... Oh, no, we do have access to it. Okay, mist pass. Seems to work. As... Oh, wait, is it... Let me try it normally. Yeah, that works. Then if we just have that as the position, maybe we can get that recursive stuff going again. That work as intended? Is the depth going up? It's not going up. So that part is not feeding back in what you would usually expect, but is that expected? I noticed with depth of field, when you look into it, it still has that kind of... Like, in the mirror world, it stays the same. Might need a little update, but I think for the time being, it's, you know, it's probably alright. Parametric. Let's go and take a look at all of this data. Let's go back to combined. I can feel my energy going down, so I will have to stream soon. I keep saying that because I need to keep reminding myself of that. Oh, this part, ooh, that's cool. Let's make it so that's the normals. Very interesting. Right, normals, what else was I going to do? So we get the geometry position. That's giving the normal, so let's shade that. So here, we're getting an orthographic projection from each base, and like a disco ball, but the weirdest disco ball you've ever seen. Okay. It seems like it would be useful for that interstellar-esque black hole effect that was trendy a while ago, but relied on refraction BSDFs. Yes, I think that probably would be a very good way of doing... Oh yeah, you can just do gravitational warping, or warping sense. You just need to make it so that the camera's only seeing that. And then... Yeah, that should work. I'll need to try that out. Again, I am getting just a little bit tired, so I think I will call it there for tonight. I hope you all have enjoyed, and I'm very excited to be testing more with this tomorrow. Probably not on stream, we'll see. But yeah, the future of baking. I need to get used to using AOV outputs. Again, it's not, you know, everything that we want, because, you know, ideally you won't need to assign a node group to all of this in order to get the data you want for every material, then manually plug in everything that's there. Not quite the best, but not the worst. Material, light output. Oh, light output, interesting. I need to play around with cycles more, but this, it's not the worst. As long as we have that, we're good. But I also need to make sure I can convert the normals into tangent space because everything relies on that. Yeah, can I? Let's see. Tangent. There's tangent, and then there's UV tangent. So you can access the UV map tangent. Does that mean that I can convert the bump into proper tangent space? In theory, yes, but in practice, it'll be annoying. Dang it. I wish we could just make it work perfectly. Oh. Actually, wait a second. Is this... Would that work? No, that wouldn't work because that's... No. That's a shame. So, it looks like we may have to convert the bump map into... I'll look into that. But anyway. Once again, let's do another render. On camera angle. Did I delete that camera? I think I did. Yep, I did. Well, anyway. Cool stuff. Possibly new baking methods. A lot of reality warping effects will be happening. Calculate tangent by tangent normal matrix. I've only done that in geometry nodes so far, and I will... Which means that is possible. I can just get the tangent by tangent in the normals. But no, it wouldn't be accurate. It wouldn't be accurate to the stuff that's in there. I'll need to look into that. But if I can crack that, that means, or if someone else cracks it, DM me if you figure it out. If we can do that, that means that we can get all the baking passes in one go, in one render, as long as you connect all the outputs. Kind of like, you know, other baking programs. Other programs will be more convenient, but the goal is, if it can be done in Blender, let's do it. Why not? It'll make my workflows a lot better, just because. But anyway, if that is possible, that means that we can vary it a lot more, because the baking things in default Blender are, you know, not great. Like, if we look at the normal, this is in tangent space. Now, do we have the tangent pass? Yes, we can get that. We do parallax inside of the shader editor. The downside being that the tangent input would have to be exposed from the node group, and you would have to input that semi-manually, so that's a pain in the butt. Because unfortunately, there's no string input for that, so it's annoying AF. But, let's see. Yeah, and then all these, yeah, they... Well, oh, that's annoying. Yeah, we can't do that quite either. UV maps, you know, we can just output that normally. Emit, environment, diffuse, glossy. There's no metallic, which is very interesting. And also, with baking, you can only do one at a time. The goal with our version is to make it so that you can bake all of them at once. And another thing, just for the future, I'm telling myself this for future reference. Since you have all the passes, you can just use the scene time to say, hey, if the frame equals 1, render this one. If the frame equals 2, render diffuse. If the thing is this, render that one. So that means we can have automated rendering as well. You just press Control F12 and it'll render out a PNG sequence to your desktop or wherever you want with all the passes. Meaning that, once again, this is just a better baking method. You just need, you know, well, it's not quite the just plug and play method, but it's better than we had before. That means that if I can get this to work perfectly, I will put it up on Gumroad for free. Which means that, yeah, we'll just have a baking method that is just easy to use. You just put your model in there, plug in the AOV outputs, which is the only really annoying thing. And then you just click Control F12 and it'll render it all out, spit out all the images, and then you're done. Wow, all this from one node that a random person made. I am going to be thanking them a lot. Alright. Once again, thank you all for watching. this new, and I think this is the most exciting discovery or exciting development in shader nodes for the past 5 years. This is a game changer for quite a few things. Okay, for the last time, thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Alright, oh wait, sorry, I saw one thing. Can we get little peeks into some of your previous client work? Maybe one of these days. If you've seen my recent Twitter post, you'll see something I worked on has come out, which you'll probably recognize some of my effects in that series. So I hope you enjoyed that. It got a good score, which I'm happy about. I think it's at 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's fun. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. It's Blender 4.2. Have a good night. Or day. Time zones, you know?